Hello everyone. So for today's video, I'm going to be filling in, I think 2 pages of my sketchbook. Maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 1.5. But yeah, here it is. As you can tell, I drew a certain character on this page with markers. I haven't used markers in ages. It was fun. But I've been feeling very creatively blocked recently, and I spent all of last week trying to think of like what to do for this video. And at first I was gonna try and force myself to do like a character design video, then I was gonna force myself to do a fan art video, then I was gonna force myself to do an oil pastel review video. In the end, I decided I'm just gonna listen to what I want to do, and what I honestly want to do is to just make an explosion piece across this page, maybe like even up here a bit. I've been having this idea recently of drawing stuff that's in my head, sort of, in a sort of explosion that looks very unorganized, but still like kind of cohesive. I'm gonna be using these crayons to loosen things up a bit, add texture. They're also water soluble, so that's neat. And then I'm also gonna use oil pastels, my old ones. These new ones that I showed in my last video, I'll make a video on them next week or something. Or maybe I'll just use them. I don't know. But for now, I'm just having this one here. So in addition to that, probably gonna need colored pencils. I think this is it. Maybe some gouache. I'll just add it on here. Yeah, I'm just gonna go crazy with these. So to start off this process, I basically just colored the entire page and like even parts of the second page. I just colored it all black, very roughly. It was fun, but I also have like a history of coloring pages black and then just leaving them blank. It happened in my first sketchbook tour, again in my second sketchbook tour video, and I was kind of worried for a bit that this would be the 3rd time it happens to me, but thankfully it did not. So we have this video today. Okay, so I'm gonna let this dry, and I think while I'm waiting for it to dry, I'll do some thumbnail sketches in my notebook. Yeah, I think for this to look even half as good as I kind of want it to look, I need to plan out the composition a little bit. All right, so I'm gonna leave that page blank and just move on to this page. For this composition, I was thinking of, hold on. I was thinking of having like a little figure there, perhaps a self-portrait, maybe just a random figure. This is a really rough sketch. And then, guess like just stuff coming out. I have to keep in mind that it's a really wide composition. Maybe a portrait here, because I've been wanting to do more portraits. And this isn't supposed to have a deep meaning. This is literally just supposed to be a brain dump kind of art piece. Okay, so here's a second composition idea. I put the figure on like the bottom corner of the page so that there's no weird like outward like this and then like that. It's just like straight up and like that. I don't know. It's pretty rough. I have a couple of ideas, but I'm not really good at like talking about my ideas. So I'm just gonna keep the meaning of the artwork vague, because it kind of is vague. Like there is no meaning. It's just random. And that's what I like about it. All right, so I'm kind of deviating from this idea here. I want to put the person in the middle, in the center, and have like a spotlight kind of thing since it's black and stuff's just pouring out. But yeah, I'm gonna leave a lot of black space as well for contrast. Yeah. Gonna start with the crouched pose. I think I've never sketched with colored pencil, especially on acrylic. It's kind of intimidating. I think I should put this higher. Let's see how good this erases. Oh, not bad. Okay, I'm a bit less nervous now. So despite being a bit less nervous, I then proceed to just not talk for the rest of the sketching process. So I had to like speed up this process a bit. It was very lengthy. I take a really long time sketching, especially like human poses, but I was just dead silent. There's no interesting parts that I could just keep in. So yeah, I'm still getting used to this whole real-time filming stuff. And especially for a piece this detailed and like large, it's really hard to do real-time filming and still stay focused on what I'm doing. So I think next time I do a piece this large and like complicated, I'll just film it all in time-lapse. But for my next video, which I already have a vague idea of what it's gonna be, I'm planning on doing a little bit more real-time sketching and just like training myself to be a little more interesting. Okay, so I accidentally forgot to film when I was sketching the Nintendo Switch here. But yeah, that's done. I'm gonna add a bunch of other objects that I listed here. I'll just do that in time lapse in order to like save storage space on my phone. All right, so the sketch is finally complete for this thing. So I guess now it's time to color it. I've been stalling and putting off the coloring for a while now. It's just nerves, I guess. It happens all the time. Part of the reason I'm so nervous to color this thing is because I have no idea how I'm gonna color it. Like, I've never done black acrylic with these sort of things on top. I have no idea how the materials are even gonna like work together. If I had the patience, I guess, I would just do a test swatch, but I don't know. I just wanna jump right in. So I started off this process by trying to use the colored pencils. They weren't nearly opaque enough, so I went in with the much less precise oil pastels, as you can see here. The downside of oil pastels is that there's like zero precision and it gets super messy and smudges everywhere. But thankfully, the colored pencils worked really well at just scraping it away and adding a little bit of color. The color wasn't super obvious. It was literally just scraping the color away. And yeah, but I was able to get details using that, like, dare I say, technique. Some of the details were still like really difficult to get right, especially like the mouth over there. But I kind of like how it turned out. There's a lot of trial and error, which is why like this portion of the coloring process is a little bit boring to watch, in my opinion. But I didn't want to speed it up too fast. I wanted to show all the like mistakes that happened along the way. I feel it's just like a more honest look at the process. Not that I was trying to be dishonest in the past. It's just I filmed it in time lapse, so it was way too fast to see properly. I just so happened to film this all in real time as well, and then speed it up on my editing program. Anyways, feel free to let me know whether or not you like it at this speed. If you'd like it a little more sped up, I guess, I could just go back to filming in time-lapse, but I'm just experimenting this summer, to be honest. Here's where I start using the Neocolor crayons to color the pants and stuff. And honestly, the crayons were such a relief from the oil pastels because they were able to get a lot more precision and it was just way faster. The downside was that they were a bit less opaque than the oil pastels were, but I kind of liked that. Like the black would just show through a little bit. It was really cool. Now, I couldn't use the crayons for everything, as you'll see in later parts of the video, because some of the colors just weren't opaque at all. Like this yellow here, it was not it. The black would shine through really strongly. And yeah, I'm not really happy with how the shoes turned out. Also, I wish I positioned the figure a little bit more up on the page because it's kind of just at the edge right now, but it's all right. I don't hate it, but I just wish I had that foresight to like just scooch it up a little bit. But yeah, I just continue to erase and color and erase and then color some more. And yeah, I don't honestly don't have much to talk about in this part, so I'll let you guys enjoy it in peace. So at this point, the figure was completely done. Why do I keep calling it figure? I should just call it self-portrait. It's a self-portrait. Anyways, self-portrait was done and I started coloring in all the objects. And I don't know, once the portrait was complete, I was a lot more like happy and just confident with the piece. It started off really patchy. Like when I was doing the skin tone, I was losing a lot of faith in this ever turning out good. But when the colored pencils started adding all like the details and the pants turned out nicely, the shirt was like, okay, I don't know, I started getting motivated again. For a lot of these objects, I did not have like a clear plan on what the colors would be, which was honestly like an oversight on my part. I should have planned it out a little better because not knowing what color each thing would be caused me a lot of stress in the long run. Like I had to recolor a bunch of things because I just hated how they turned out, and that just ended up making it worse, as you'll see later on. But as you can see here, I just started with some of the stuff that I knew what the color was going to be. So like the Nintendo Switch, the bus sign over there, and like the tennis ball. That little wire that I colored earlier on, the gray thing, that's an example of me making it the wrong color and then going over it. Some of the stuff were just really nice to color and I enjoyed it. So like the TikTok logo over there was like, I really loved coloring that. The smoke was super fun to color as well. And so was the bus stop. I really enjoyed the bus stop. So this part here, when I was coloring in this ITAD logo thing, it's basically like the name of my 4th year engineering project, ITAD, but that's an example of me coloring something and just like regretting the color choice immediately afterwards. I don't like how the bright blue looks in that position. I wish I just colored it white with the oil pastel and crayon and maybe give it like a dark gray outline. Also, this part I'm coloring right now with the green, it was supposed to be the logo for Arduino, which is like this board language. I don't know how to explain it, but it's a thing and it was supposed to be that thing. but it ended up looking just really ugly there, especially the olive green color. Then I try to like casually make it into this other programming language called ROS, but that also looked really stupid. So I just made it into a coffee cup. So yeah. But yeah, I absolutely despise how the coffee cup ended up looking. Like I think at this stage here it looked okay, but later on I just like mess it up completely. Oh, also another thing I wanted to talk about was the amount of self-restraint it took to not color every single object green was honestly incredible. Oh yeah, wait, 1 second. This is when I destroy the iTed logo. I try coloring it, like, I try scraping off the... I try to do a lot of things. You know what? I'm not even gonna try and describe what I do here. I try to do a lot of things and it messes up everything, and it looks really patchy. Maybe it looks okay on screen, but in real life it looks super patchy and kind of messed up. It's okay though. I just realized I was being like super negative for the past 5 minutes. It's alright. I still like how this piece turned out. It's just like some individual objects I really don't like. So I'm gonna start talking about the objects I do like. The wire crimps, the crimpers, wire crimpers. I forget what they're called, but that was really fun to draw, and I really like how it turned out. I also really love how the Nintendo Switch turned out. Actually, wait, I don't like how you know what? I'm not gonna talk about the Nintendo Switch. There's something about it that just bothers me a little bit, but I'm not gonna talk about it. What else? Oh yeah, the shopping bag and the YouTube logo turned out pretty nice. I like how those look. Also the lamp. The lamp was fun to draw as well. Overall, I really enjoyed making these detailed little objects with oil pastels. It was a little bit stressful, but it was a nice change of pace, to be honest. There I'm just sketching the boba tea and then Kirby. Okay, I love how Kirby turned out. That's something I can be positive about. I actually drew him here before he became my favorite Nintendo Switch character. Well, not Nintendo Switch character, I mean Smash Bros character. He's just like the perfect amount of like adorable and deadly. Anyways, after drawing Kirby and the little mushroom guy, I went back and drew that little bus pass over there. Bus passes have become a big part of my life. Basically, I have to spend like 3 hours a day commuting to work on days where I have like work outside. So that's the reason for the bus pass and the bus sign over there. But yeah, I just keep adding more details and fluff to the clouds. The clouds were honestly the most fun part of this entire process. And then, oh, here's when I try to salvage the iTed thing. I paint over it with this like white acrylic paint, but it's like off-white. And it looked pretty nice. It just needed some line art. But as you'll see later on, the line art doesn't quite work out. Okay, so here is my absolute favorite part of the entire sketchbook page. And I'm planning on doing more things like this. It's basically just an oil pastel portrait. It has no deep meaning besides the fact that I really want to do oil pastel portraits. I've been planning for months now to just do a page full of like portraits like this one over here, just like really loose. But I never had the time or just like energy to do it. So I'm really glad I included it on this page. Anyways, as you're about to witness, this is when the acrylic just peels off of the oil pastel. And I feel like I should have known this was gonna happen. Like, I feel like it's a common sense to know that acrylic doesn't go on top of oil, but I don't know. I just thought it would work. Shocker, it didn't work. Anyways, I tried salvaging it again, and yeah, I just returned it back to the color it was before. I don't love it, but I don't despise it. It's okay. So yeah, I think that's about it for this artwork. I just keep adding little details here and there, final touches, that sort of thing. And it was really fun. I really enjoyed this process, to be honest. It felt therapeutic in a way to just dump all my thoughts onto a page without worrying about making it mean something. So if you're feeling creatively blocked at the moment and you need a way to get out of it, I would I would recommend this. 7 out of 10 experience. Okay, so it's all done and my desk is a disaster. So I'm just gonna clean all this up in time lapse and then, yeah. Okay, so here's the final sketchbook spread. I'm actually really happy with how this one turned out. It's not at all like how I envisioned because I didn't envision anything. I was sort of just doing whatever. But I did put like a ton of effort into it. There was a couple times at the start where I was like, this is gonna be horrible. I should just give up right now. But I'm glad I kept on with it because this is probably one of my favorite spreads. Now, there's a couple things that I'm not really happy with, like a couple objects like this here. I don't really like it. It doesn't really fit nicely. There's a coffee mug there. I absolutely hate how it looks, but I'm keeping it there. I'm not doing anything to it. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. My favorite part is this part right here. It was so relaxing doing the face, and I really love how the colors turned out and the tones and stuff and how scratchy it is. I want to do more portraits with oil pastels because it's just so fun. Anyways, the glare is pretty bad, but if I hold it like this, it looks nice. Yeah, that's about it for this week's video. I'll be back with another video in 1 to 2 weeks. I'm not gonna put like a week deadline on my videos just because I have like 2 part-time jobs that make a full-time job. And so, yeah, it would just be really hard for me to post weekly. But I'll try to post like every 1 to 2 weeks. Most likely like every 1.5 weeks or something like that. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun making it. It's just like really out of my comfort zone and really fun, to be honest. I'll see you all in the next video in a week or 2 weeks. Bye.